Welcome to or welcome back to the channel. You clicked on this video because you probably want to learn how to make millions with one of the best businesses in GTA Online and possibly also learn how to acquire it and set it up. I don't want to waste your time, but there are a few things you guys should know about the asset lab before I show you how to make millions. If you aren't a beginner, feel free to skip around through the timestamps that are of course always linked down below. The first half of the video is going to be a step-by-step to actually get and set up your asset lab, while the rest is going to be tips, tricks, and how to maximize your profits. Before I end the yapping, there's one more thing to get to. If you're a complete beginner, broke, or just want to get a discount on this asset lab, there's a way to do that, but it'll require some time. First, the vehicle you need for this business is called the Brigade. Instead of buying it off warstock for $1.4 million, you could play the 6 first dose missions to steal this vehicle and save yourself the money. These missions were released alongside the asset lab, and they follow the story of you meeting the gang at the freak shop who will be your new business partners and stealing the asset lab. After you play through these missions, you'll need to pay the setup fee of $750,000, but lucky for you, I'll show you the way to get an 80% discount on this. The first dose missions actually pay this fee for you. They pay about $70,000 for each one, and the last one pays $250,000. The total amount that I made from these was around $600,000, and on top of that, I got the Brigade for free. I highly recommend playing through these. They're pretty combat heavy and they have a fun story. All you have to do is go to the R on your map to start. Like I said before, if you already know what you're doing and you want to see the money breakdowns, go ahead and skip around, but if not, let's do a short breakdown for each one of these missions. The first mission, like most of them, is pretty combat heavy. There's a pretty long cutscene in this that I won't spoil in case you like watching them. There are about 3 parts to this mission, but don't be scared when you hear that because they're all short and easy. To make the video more clear, we're going to be calling the different locations and tasks parts. Part 1 is defending the clubhouse and shooting the lost MC. Make sure you stock up on snacks because there are a lot of enemies. After you kill all of them, we are now on to part 2. We have to go steal Dax's journey back. You don't have to kill all of the lost MC members for this one, just enough to get in the van. If you see here, I did the classic spam snacks and try not to die strat. And part 3 is the last part. All you have to do is pick up Dax and bring him back to the warehouse. See guys, it's very simple. That's all for this mission. Let's head on to the next one. The second mission is the easiest out of all of them. All you have to do is steal party supplies until you find that the lost MC was waiting to sabotage you. That's no worry for us because now we're going to head over to one of their clubhouses, rob them, and kill them. Again, this mission is pretty combat heavy, so make sure you have armor and snacks. Once we break into their clubhouse and snap a picture of their plans, we're gonna rob them out of their product and make an escape. This is a reoccurring theme throughout the missions, and that's all for this one. I got it done in about 10 minutes. Now the third mission was definitely the hardest and most repetitive for me, but once it's done, it's smooth sailing from here. Part 1 is pretty simple. You have to infiltrate the lost MC camp and blow some of it up. Luckily, Rockstar makes it pretty easy for us. There are lots of gas cans and oil barrels laying next to all the car. As we can see here, I already completed it, but there is still stuff to blow up. We have more than enough resources to use. What can be hard is the amount of enemies that spawn. Make sure you have armor. After this, we're going to go on to part 2. We need to steal 10 of the Lost MC's products at a different location. There are going to be more enemies here. I'll quickly show every location in case you want to remember some. After you collect all the products, we are on to the final step. For this one, all you have to do is fly back to the asset lab. Congratulations, you are halfway through. The 4th mission is definitely one of the most creative and coolest missions I've ever played in this game, and I'm not gonna lie, I think that you guys should all experience it for yourself. If you know what I'm talking about, comment down below and let me know how you liked it, but let's not spoil this one and let's just head on to the next one. Have fun, guys. The 5th mission is a bit different from the storyline of the others, but ultimately it's the same gameplay. Instead of destroying the Lost MC, we are now taking down another potential rival. For part 1, you have to destroy hippie camps, which is done by blowing up these tents by shooting the gas cans found inside. There's about 2 to each camp. You may have to go in, shoot it, and run out. In part 2, you'll be back on your vehicle, and now it's time to blow up 3 vans. You can spray the vans with your weapon if you don't have any missiles. After that is done, we're on to the final part. This one's going to require you to travel up a little bit farther to the Altruist camp in the mountains. While up there, you're going to take down their vans and helicopter once that rises. The 6th and final mission is up next, and this is the finale where you finally steal the Brigade. During part 1, you're required to head into Humane Labs, steal the plans, and steal their product. You are able to do this stealthy, but I'm not going to lie, I completely forgot about this and I blew right past the guard. Once you finish looting the boxes inside, it's time to head out and stop the train. Don't be afraid of the time limit on the bottom right. I'm sure everyone can make it in time no matter what car you're driving. Once you made it onto the signal box, then go ahead and redirect that train. Once it's crashed, it's time to shoot our way to our new asset lab. Loot through the crates while trying to stay alive. My tip for this one is take down the helicopters as soon as they spawn. Every other enemy is very easy to deal with. Once you steal the Brigade, it's time to drive this back to the freak shop. Congratulations guys, you have now stolen the asset lab and made around $600,000 like I talked about earlier. Before we make millions, it's time to steal the supplies that we need to set up the lab. Head out to the yellow smiley sticker on your map to get started. All you have to do is shoot some more people and then load the truck up with the product. This truck was pretty fast. I was low-key surprised when I drove it back to the lab. So now it's time to buy the asset lab for that price point of $750,000 that I spoke about earlier. Mo will talk to you for a little and give you a short tour here, so I'm going to tell you what you should and shouldn't upgrade. The only upgrade for the Brigade which you should be worrying about is the equipment upgrade, but we will get to that later. If you have a bunch of money and you want to make your Brigade look cool, then do that, but that is not completely needed. What is needed is maxing maxing out the bike it gives you. This bike is important because we will be selling all the products with this and only this. Definitely put some money into this. You're probably wondering why it's so important to upgrade the Brigade. Let me break it down for you. The full stock value is only $237,000 without the upgrade, while the upgrade lets you have $335,000. In order to upgrade the Brigade, you have to play a few more missions. In order to access these, all you have to do is call Dax and press request work. He'll pay you $50K for each one of these, and they only take about 5 to 10 minutes. Of course, there's a downside to this though. Each mission has a cooldown of 48 minutes, and you need to complete 10 of them to access the upgrade. In the long run, this is very worth it. If you don't play the game for too long, I recommend playing at least one mission every single time you get on. It's hard to grind all these out in one sitting since there's at least 8 hours of cooldown time. So this is what everyone is here for. It's time for me to break down how much this makes you and how you can make millions from this business. First thing to talk about is supplying. You're able to both steal supplies and buy them in. I always choose to buy them in because it saves a ton of time. To be exact, if you don't have the upgrade, it takes 3.2 batches of supplies to fully fill the stock, and with the upgrade, it only takes 1.6 batches of supplies. One batch of supplies is equal to 5 bars. So if you decide to steal supplies, you're only going to get 1 to 2 bars per mission. This can be very time consuming. Honestly, I just buy the supplies. Now after you have your supplies, there are 3 bonuses you can apply to your lab if you want the most money. This first bonus is a rename bonus. If you rename your acid lab, you get a 5% increase in your sales. The second bonus is the public lobby bonus. The third bonus is a daily boost that lasts either until 80 units of stock have been produced or 24 real-time hours have passed. Now this boost is crucial to us if we want to make the most money per hour in the background. Let's break down how much time it takes to get full product. On screen is a graphic to follow along with. With no daily boost, it takes either 4 hours or 6 hours depending on if you have the equipment upgrade. With your daily boost and upgrade, we can cut that down to 3 hours or 4 hours and 30 minutes. Here's where the math comes in. On screen is another graphic that'll help you follow along with me. As we can see here, assuming that you use the daily boost, public lobby, and rename bonus, the most money you can make with no upgrade and no supplies bought is $374,000. The most money you can make with the upgrade and no supplies bought is $527,000. If you were to buy supplies, those numbers drop down to $182,000 and $431,000. Now while the upgraded total with bought supplies doesn't go down much, the non-upgraded max sell goes down by over half your amount of money. This is why I stress getting the upgrade so much. If you don't sell in a public lobby, you lose about $100,000. If you were to sell in a public lobby that doesn't have max players, you'll still make around the same amount of money. So everyone is probably wondering how much the acid lab makes per hour. Assuming that you bought the supplies and used the daily boost, you can either make $40,000 per hour or $143,000 per hour, depending if you bought the upgrade. If you bought supplies and you didn't use the daily boost, you'll only make $30,000 or $107,000 depending if you bought the upgrade. As we could see here, the daily boost is doing a lot of work for us. The great thing about this business is that as long as you have it resupplied, it'll make money for you in the background while you play your other heists and other active money making methods. My favorite part is that you can literally call Mutt and just buy more supplies. If you want to maximize your earnings, the best thing to do is flip between Cayo Perico heist, the Cluck and Bell farm raid, and back to the acid lab. Now here's a quick bonus for you guys. While many people may know about this, I've seen a good amount of people who actually don't. There are more Dax missions to do. To be exact, they are called the last dose missions, and there are 5 of them. If you complete all 5, you're rewarded with the Ocelot Virtue, which is an electric hypercar. It goes for 2.9 million on Legendary Motorsports. These missions are completely optional, so you can come back to them if you like. I hope you all enjoyed this guide, and subscribe if you like what I do, and comment down below where the acid lab ranks in your top 3 businesses. In my personal opinion, it's either 1 or 2. Take care guys, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next one.